I welcome you to this interview with Pastor Samuel Afolabi Coker of the King's Chambers. I am Bola Adewara, the editor of eLife magazine and presenter of Mentoring Masterclass. Today, I want us to discuss this issue with Pastor Afolabi Coker, who just released this book, I Choose to Live. You will hear, I'm sure, what you've not heard before. This book has to do with herbal medicine. And I know that a lot of people, once we hear herbal medicine, you have a kind of very wide imagination and stuff like this. I have interviewed a lot of people on this topic, and some few days ago, he sent a copy, or let me say flyer, to me online, and it jarred my attention. And I decided to have an interview with him. I was like, what is a pastor doing with with herbal medicine? Pastor Afolabi Coker, as I said, is the pastor in charge of the King's Chambers, that is an arm of a Redemption Inheritance Ministry. He's an old-timer in this ministry. He was a lecturer at the time in geology department at the University of Ilorin, and when you have people moving from the academia to the church, you believe they know what they are doing. He is a man with utmost precision in his word. That's one thing I found about him, and I'm so glad to be under his administration. You listen to his sermon, you believe that this man knows what he's doing. He is called of God. He is married to Pastor Adetutu. That's another woman of prayer. I have one of his books that I will mention when I have an interview with her also. Thank you, Pastor Samuel. I welcome you, sir, to this interview.
You're welcome.
The Lord bless you, sir. This is very beautiful, and sometimes they tell you the cover of a book does not really tell you what's inside. But I think this one it has done a great job here.
Thank you.
Yes. Like I said earlier, what is the pastor doing with herbal medicine? How did you get here?
Thank you very much. In the year 2002, my mother had a breast cancer, stage 4. The consultant pathologist advised that nothing can be done except they cut it, and the chances of her living is very remote. In the course of it, there was an argument between me and my late dad that I was in the position that the breast should not be cut. That the breast should be cut. His own position was nobody should touch the breast of his wife. In the course of it, my dad took his decision and took his wife to Ilorin. So a man decided to make an herbal solution, and then they were being applied and some balms. And in the course of it, the breast busted. To cut the long story short, my mother is still alive in Abeokuta till today. We're talking about 22 years, and she's still vibrant. She turned 89 in April.
89?
In April 30th.
And this happened what year?
2002.
2002 to 2024. We're talking about 22 years after.
Yes.
Now tell me, was she on herbal medicine or something?
Yes, I said the man did an herbal medicine, not traditional occultic practice. It was purely herbal.
How will you say that influenced this book?
Now, initially when I wanted to get close and have an in-depth of what the man did, my dad of blessed memory then cautioned me because of my work as a pastor.
Now, the dad is dead?
My dad is
and
dead.
The mom and the mother with stage 4 cancer, she's still alive?
Not the mother, the wife.
The wife now, yes, I'm sorry, I mean yes, your mom.
My mom.
His wife is still alive?
Yes.
Wow.
God knows the time of everyone. But at the same time, health is wealth. Now, in the course of it, the thing went on, and later I came in touch with a man called Professor Timothy Mosaku, then the head of Department of Building Technology, who I saw playing football, soccer, with the school team of Covenant University then. And he was playing it hard, and I wonder at 80-something, where do you get this strength? 80-something, Professor Mosaku of Covenant University there.
Playing football?
Playing soccer with the school team. Active, and then, so it was in the course of it, we started discussing about the privilege he had to be the last born, and then following his dad into the bush, and the guy was showing the secret of so many things. And I was taking notes, taking lectures from him, and my interest was craving and craving. So when I see elderly people or some people, I ask questions. I ask questions about what this and this and what do you use for this and that and that and that. I keep building. But along the line, I discovered that year 2023, from 2022 to 2023, people were just dying. Ministers, pastors, people close to one. And when you hear this, and then you now hear, there can be remedy for this. There can be remedy for that. So in the course of it, I was praying September last year about how 2024 will be. And God told me about the part of this hardship, which I shared with the church. Summoned all the men in the church. One of the things God told me is the need to get land, go back to farming because of the food insecurity and scarcity that is coming. And also, I asked, he said, I used to do publishing before, and then write books, and I stopped for about 10 or 12 years. And God said, go back to it. And I now asked, what will you have me to say? The appointed time to bring about the knowledge on this issue of herbal concept is now. Now, because prior to that time, to this year, by which the book now came out, when I share with people, they say, be careful, about you are now an herbalist. You have to be careful about the babalawo, that is, that the pastor, their father has become like an occultic herbalist. But because God said, I went ahead. But now got a greater reception and attention now. So prior to that time, I will recommend to people, just advise them at no cost. And they will try it and they will see it, especially a plant called miracle leaf. And then I too started using it and I see the difference. Like if you see me now, I'll be 64 years old, October 9 this year. If you look at me, I don't think I look like somebody who is even 40 something. And that is the benefit of some of these things. You know, what we eat has a lot to do. And our lifestyle has a lot to do with our aging, the stress, the challenges of life. But what we eat, like me, anything like a swallow, I don't take more than anything that's more than feast.
The size of the
I don't overstress my tummy, drinking water a lot. And at the same time, I don't just eat just anything. I try as much as possible to avoid junks. There are certain foods I've caught long time, like somebody like beef. I ate it last October 9, 2010.
Wow.
Where somebody may say, well, you don't have to do this. I say, it's dependent on the person. Like I can't remember the last time anything processed before being cooked. When I mean processed, understand what I mean? I'm not talking about things like yam flour, lafo gari, that they are processed. But when you talk about things that are made of wheat, like bread and all this pastry, I try to avoid it as much as possible, just to keep me healthy. And then I remember there was a time my hair was going bad. I have to start applying black seed oil into tea, into pap, morning and evening, apart from the day I'm fasting or waiting on the Lord. And I discovered that the hair started going back. And the challenge I have now is that I will barb my hair in 2 weeks. It's come again because of the use of the black seed oil.
Wow, this is wonderful. How do you see the relationship between faith and the use of herbal medicine? I ask this question because from what we see today, I mean, on the social media, you'll find that a lot of people now, they are becoming very critical of the church, of pastors, except those of us who are already infiltrated or we know what the Lord says about things like this. People will tell you, I mean, some pastor will tell you, don't worry, anything, prayer can do it. You don't need this, you don't need that, just pray, just fast. 31-day prayer, 32-day prayer. You have a headache, go on fasting. Tell me, how do you reconcile the relationship between faith and this, your new discovery?
Thank you very much, sir. But what we have to understand is this. I believe in miracles. And even God himself admonishes us to walk, that is the working of miracles. You work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Now, in this book, I choose to live. One of the things I first have addressed in the first few chapters is to bring about the scriptural relevance of herb, seeds, fruits, and extracts, and the plants. When you look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, it is clearly stated before God now said in verse 31 that everything he did was very good. Now, when you now look when in 2 Kings chapter 20, the king was sick. He called on the prophet Elijah. He recommended herb. Am I communicating? In this book, you also see scriptures backing the use of herbs. So, as a pastor, you know, the Bible tells us in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So, the issue of colonial mentality, ignorance, and people don't search to see, like Job said, the things I know not, I search it out. People don't search to know. People just base their argument on what they are limited to. Now, when we were growing up, before even the application of chloroquine, like somebody will argue and say it was despite the herbs and things that the people were dying. Who was recording the statistics? And the people who are using herb, who are taking their the record of their statistics. The variation is about packaging. Those days, they will take dogoyaro, neem leaf, add it to the bark of a mango tree, a mango bark, and then put lemongrass and boil it. You will steam with it, you will drink it, you will back with it. In 2-3 days, that malaria is gone. Now, people argue that, oh, no measure. So, what is it that no measure? He either tell you to take half a cup or take a few or do that. It's state control. They say put pressure on kidney or put pressure. Okay, now that we are using more of the orthodox medicines, are you with me?
Exactly.
Now, why is it working? You know, we just attach, you know, and you see, with due respect to Yoruba culture, we like attaching meat to everything. You remember those days? I remember when we were going to school. They say if you wake up and you are going and you hit your left leg or left toe, that's bad luck. Bad omen. Bad omen. And then you go back home. If you don't like, good success. When we were in school, at times while we in the course of changing the shift to change it to the positive, we start hitting our leg until at times you injure your toe. But we believed it. We believed it. I remember those days, the back, the bottom part, the anus of a fowl. It's only my mom that used to eat it in the house. And when we say, Mom, we have to eat this, I say, no. The reason why you can't eat it, that knob that's full of fat, is because that anybody that eats that part will start talkative and start lying. And you have to start become a talkative that you can't keep any secret with the friend. We believed it. And the woman was eating the thing until we grew up. Are you with me? Because we had trust, belief, and confidence in her, anything she tells us, we take, even when it is not true. Just like those days, they will tell you, go and bring a Rudolph from Yabola. And then you go there, the woman understand that they just want to keep you down. I'm not saying there are diabolic enchantment, divination, and all these things. But what I'm saying is that the herbal use does not require you. Okay, all these Chinese are bringing. I was in America at one of the pharmacy and I saw bitter leaf capsule. Did they make incantation into that one? And everybody is buying it because it's from Oyibo and it's from abroad and because it's capsules, the packaging. So why do you talk about all these Chinese teas? Were they making incantation to it? And it's working. You remember the days of Tianxi? That one tangazi or something tea that you put yeast inside water for days. You won't, maybe like 2 or 3 days, and then you start drinking it. What have we not gone through in this country?
Don't you think that our lack of packaging is a major bane or a major minus for our people respecting what we have? Don't you think so? Are we packaging these things the right way?
Now, thank you very much, sir. You see, packaging it the right way or not, our fathers of old, even as a Christian, Jeremiah 6:16 says we should not set aside the ancient landmarks, and Proverbs 28:28, that's said by our forefathers. Now, the point then is this, that the first thing is that why our fathers living 90, 80, 100 plus, they say they don't have calendar. From Southwest, Abeokuta, all this area, I know people who can give you history of their birth because, civilization has already entered what they were doing. Unlike today, 36, 34, 45, 43, 50 something, just die like chicken, which is not supposed to be so. Am I communicating? People say, okay, you have no quantity. Which drug does not have side effect? Even they said that water has side effects. Then as a result, we must stop drinking water. So the packaging, you see, these challenges, like why I wrote this book is this. Like before this book came out, I placed the advert of the publication, like I sent to you, on our uni platform. And somebody advised me from US, he said, Coker, are you not interested in making money? Rather than selling this idea out for free or at a meager something, why not patent and partner with a university in US, a university in UK, a university in Nigeria? And then you make money. My passion was to bring out the knowledge acquired over 20-something years with proofs. This one is not theory, with proofs. I told you about my mother. My mother is still alive. If you want to interview her, I can take you to her in Abeokuta. Now, also, some of the people who things have turned around. My own junior brother, second to the last born, had stroke November 17, 2023. In 2 weeks, 3 processes of this herbal thing without any incantation or any cause of anything to the glory of God. Started walking, started talking. Physiotherapy now used to work on the hand. And it's getting better. If I call him now, he would say I'm lying that he never had stroke. With this herbal something. So what I'm saying is this, you see, one of our things is this. Is the majorly about complex. What I don't know now, some has to do also with sour grape mechanism. It's like if you produce this, I've not produced, I don't know much knowledge. Instead of me making inquiry, I said, yeah, is that production? Is that it? Is that it? Which is sour grape mechanism, which is bad. Nothing else that is good. You can imagine bitter leaf taken outside, put into capsule. We are now buying it with foreign exchange and selling because it's packaging. So it's process. What I'm saying here, I expect university people like professors of medicinal chemistry, those who study pharmacology, all these universities something, if they can fund it and then get some of this extract to now take it further. But what do you have? You just have paper, 100 papers, publication, become a professor of pharmacology, and then we can produce things. Now, to take this something further, my next step is to go to School of Basic Health on this herbal medicine to study. Then later, get certified. If possible, join the Association of the Herbal Medicine. I'm not talking about traditional medicine. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because you can say, man, I've seen people who, you had a phone call that I just received now. I've seen people who just the book something, go and look for it, go and practice it yourself. Are you with me? I'm just interested in marketing the book, but people with the passion and the proof is it. Somebody about nothing less than 15 people said differently that what is in this book is more of a manual than just a book. And now, James 4:17 says, to him that knoweth to do good and does not do to him. So if I know what can help you and I refuse to give you, and I'm saying, well, they will think. Proverbs 3:27 and 28, the Bible tells us, if you know, if your brother seek for help and you are in a position to assist or give, do not say come to God. What the appointed time has come, this book came because of fear of God. The cost of acquiring it or supporting it is nothing but because of the cost of production of everything. Everything has skyrocketed. Am I communicating? I've done my own bit. It's for me now to step it up. I was asking somebody of recent who I told her who was troubled permanently on high blood pressure drug, and is getting frustrated that the blood pressure is not improving. And I said to him, I said, the last time I checked on my blood pressure, it was reading 118 over whether 68 or 73. He shouted. He said, Pastor, what is it? And I remember when some of my mates, we had a program here at my uni, and a medical outreach, and they were giving out some blood pressure drug, and all of them were asking for more. And I said, I didn't ask, and they said, Why didn't I ask? I said, I don't have it. I said, no. Who assisted something will not have this something. I said, no. I said, let's check again. They check, And I said to them, I'm not saying you should not take your drug. I'm not against orthodox medicine. But what I'm telling you and advising you is this. What you eat, the way you eat vegetable, the fruits you eat, there are certain things you need to take that will not just harm you, but will crash some of these things. You just check so that you will not result into hypertension. Am I communicating? So in the same light, you discover that once these things are being taken, it will help. Now, you see that in all of our discussion and this interview, I've not mentioned that when you cut this leaf, you have to go and look up and say this and this. I didn't even say prayer before you eat.
How do we disabuse the minds of our people concerning this herbal medicine, especially with this fetishism that has been largely associated with it? Now, for those people who try to bring all these sort of things to eat, don't cook leaves around 6 p.m., don't do this. How do we correct them? How do we educate them properly in such a way that we will remove all these nonsense that's come with this herbal medicine?
You see, everything depends on what the source you drink from, your knowledge. Am I communicating? Just like in everything, even in religion, some, like in churches, for example, with due respect, some will tell you, why should a woman wear trouser? I personally, as a pastor, I minister at times, people fall down. I would prefer a lady to wear trouser. If you fall down, will I not be looking at something free from every appearance of evil? Are you with me? In Scotland, men wear skirts, and a robo man, tie wrapper. But you know, at times our mentality is that women must not be hard. So anything woman is wala. Even some of us go back to go and quote Deuteronomy that the Bible says that a woman must wear what woman wear. In the same passage we are citing and selective quotation, it says that you should not wear anything that is of mixed material. Take for example now, when you say 100%, 50% polyester, and this 35% cotton, 3% silk, we wear it. It's not it. In the same passage, it's written that you don't pay tithe of money if you sell dog. So if my business is dog, and then I could not bring tithe to church because of dog. So will the devourer not affect me as well? So you see, all this selective something is still the same thing. Some will take it, some will not take it. Are you with me? But everybody has a right to follow his mind. If I want to take miracle leaf, for example, now if it's about addressing stress, I bought miracle leaf with a guava leaf and the peel of pineapple. When will I take the miracle leaf? If I want to take the miracle leaf in the evening, I go and take the leaf in the evening, and I ask them to boil it for me, and I drink, and it works. So all this not only is their belief, Okay, some has mixed it in their culture and their system in various things. Like, okay, when you wake up in the morning, that you don't that whoever you meet first will determine your day, whether it carries good luck or bad luck. If you believe it will happen for you, Job said, the thing I fear has come on me. What I'm afraid of is done on me. What you don't fear cannot have effect on you.
I want you to speak to members of the church. I mean the ecclesia, the church of God, that concerning issues like this, people tend to there's a section of church now who will tell you for any sickness, go and 30-day prayer and fasting. These you have to get to the prayer mountain before God can hear your prayer. For how long will this continue? For this 21st century Christians or Christianity, how can we understand? Because some of them now, when you say you want to do this now, I'm sure some pastor will rise and I'll tell you, no, he's deviating. A pastor writing this, I want him deviate there. There are people who will come there and they will tell you, the only way you can have healing is by prayer and fasting. I want you to address this, sir.
Thank you very much. I've been a pastor. I was ordained November 23rd, 1991 as a pastor, and ordained a reverend minister 1998. I've seen in my ministry testimonies of people healed. I believe in healing. I believe in miracles. I believe in God's blessing. I believe in God's intervention. Nothing done without God permitting it. But the point then is that faith without work is dead. All these evil people, Orthodox men and everything, except the Lord build the house, the labor in vain are busy. You can even pray to God if God does not answer. You don't deserve the glory. It's God who honors your word. The same thing with this medicine. It's God who gave the doctors, the pharmacists, and the people manufacturers the wisdom to be able to apply it. For me, it's a faith extender. Even with this, that does not mean I don't take Orthodox drugs. That does not mean I don't consult doctors. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not a competitive thing or a thing of insecurity. It's a thing about the knowledge. But for you to say somebody should not take drug, somebody should not take blood, somebody except you get to one before you can be healed. I know the place of deliverance. Am I but to now say somebody should not be treated, even when we talk about miracles of cancer, some of these things have to do with combining something. The herb, the prayer, the Orthodox means. You understand what I'm saying? Like I met a surgeon who said there's no ailment that can be reversed. Which I knew that, okay, was my mother's cancer not reversed? If you say one out of something, there are others. Other cases. This, I'm not talking about early detection. Stage 4 terminal. It's unfortunate that the man in London is dead. And the children did not know. I've met some pastors that I was trying to educate them on this thing, and they were regretting that their father was trying to put them through. But when their father died, where their father wrote some of these things, that was the first thing they went to take in the room and burnt it.
Oh my God.
So you see, the thing, I was not convincing them on the basis of what I was doing. I was just showing them scriptures. Genesis, okay, what will you say about this? At least you know I didn't write the Bible. What will you say about this? What will you say about this? What will you say about Elisha? What will you say about this? What will you say about the provisions this made? What will you say about this? So the something is about this education. Like for example now, if I say, okay, in helping this, we've gone to media, let the pastors buy it. Even encourage their members to buy and read and educate. But if the man is biased that no, he can't be, there's nothing you can do. You can only force the horse to the river, to the stream. You can't force the horse to drink. And that's why we continue. There was a time augmentin that we used to buy 6,000, 7,000 has gone up, skyrocketed with the exchange rate. Now, how many people can afford the rate now? I'm not talking about self-medication. You still go for your checkup. You still go to the hospital. Am I communicating? The doctor will still recommend and advise. But there are things you eat which are natural. That have not much effect or damage of your kidney or your heart or whatsoever. I've had people who are close to me who died just because of all this ignorance and the one-way traffic.
Oh. What will readers of this book take away from it? I mean, I want you to market this book. I want you to talk to my viewers now concerning this book.
All right. You see, this book I choose to live is a book on holistic living, healthy, and healing. The content therein is worth more than whatever cost price you want to put on it. It's about herbs, use of herbs, seeds, roots, extract of oil. Like I said in the course of the interview, my hair was going bald, but I started using black seed oil, not rubbing it on it, but just putting in my tea or in my pap, and the hair started growing back. That now, in 2 weeks, my hair grows exceedingly mightily. I was sharing with a senior pastor's wife, and she told me that that's why she adds it to her own cream to apply to her hair so that her hair will not go bad as a woman. So there are so many things about it, and it's also the book about what to preventing prevention is better than cure. Everyone who have acquired is one thing to acquire a book, is another thing to study it and apply it. If you can get it, study it, apply it as relevant as it to you, it will help you. And for Christians, you will notice that from Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 to Genesis chapter 9 verse 2, nothing was mentioned to eat apart from herbs, fruits by God. The first statement of you can eat anything started from Genesis chapter 9 verse 3. So why are people like Noah and those people of those days, how are they surviving?
How are they surviving?
So we have to understand the trajectory that you have to take your life, and the decision you take today from the interview you are hearing will last, its effect may show up in 10 to 20 years. Do something today, choose to live, acquire that book, I choose to live. You can contact me or the mentoring masterclass coordinator or any of the avenue. It's also on Amazon and in Lulu Publishing. The Lord bless you.
I believe you had this today, this book. I have a copy already. I enjoin you to get a copy. I've looked at it. It's easy to read, and I believe it will bless you. This book will bless you. I had to take this action of coming here to have an interview with the pastor for putting this down. I mean, some people have understanding of these things and then they just keep it to themselves. But he has gone further to bring it to you. I enjoy you to have a copy of this. Thank you so much, my pastor. May the Lord be with you, sir.
Amen.
Thank you for doing this book.
Thank you.
And I believe posterity will remember you for good for doing this.
Amen.
Thank you so much, sir.
Amen.
Thank you, my brother.